Welcome, Cubs. Have a seat by the fire and get comfortable, because we're going to be here for a while. Tonight I'm going to tell you a tale about some of those chosen by Gaia to be her protectors, born of man, wolf, or other, but all bathed in Luna's light. Tasked by Gaia with defending her and gifted with slivers of Luna's rage, these chosen ones can take the forms of man, wolf, or things in between. Called werewolves by men, these warriors call themselves the Garu. But, as usual, I'm getting way too far ahead of myself. Before we get into the story, we need to take care of a little separate business. And by we, I mean the royal we. I mean we, as in the wonderful people before you. Because we are Vorpal Tales. We play terrifying tales and awesome adventures every day of the week. We feature a little bit of everything, including They Came From Beyond the Grave, Mage of the Awakening, Alien, Ravenloft, and even those nasty blood-sucking leeches. Be sure to check out our website, vorpaltales.com, to see our complete schedules, recaps of the week's shows, links to our social media, such as YouTube for past archives of shows, our new podcast, and Patreon, just in case you wanted to show your support monetarily, or go check out our new merch. In addition, we invite you to please join our Discord so you can take part in our charity events. Be sure to click follow on Twitch so you can get notified of new shows. And if you check out the YouTube archive, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you get notifications of new posts there as well. Special thanks to Onyx Path Publishing and White Wolf for gifting us the World of Darkness and all the support that they offer. To Astral Tabletop for the awesome virtual space we use to play all of our games. To Nate Mid from right here at Vorpal Tales for our custom Astral Tabletop character sheets that you all can use to play your own games on Astral Tabletop. Vorpal Tales is always looking for ways to give back to the various groups that we represent. Let us tell you a little bit about the fantastic group we've chosen this year to support the month of July. You might be wondering why Vorpal Tales picked Love Your Rebellion for this month's charity. Well, Love Your Rebellion is a nonprofit whose mission we believe in because they employ, discover, assist, and empower minority communities. Those that self-identify as women, immigrants, people of color, people from queer and trans communities, people from low-income communities, and people with disabilities are all included and uplifted through LYR. This is done through music, art, poetry, and literature promotion and publications. Attending or taking part in events put on by LYR is an opportunity to connect with who you are, celebrate pride in your identities, supporting intersectionality, learning, and awareness across the communities in our beautiful diversity. LYR is obviously putting in the work to better the world in their communities, so Vorpal Tales is doing their small part to help them out. All of July, we'll be taking donations for LYR, and 100% of all the donations collected will go to empowering diversity. LYR is a group that Vorpal Tales is close to in real life. They are fantastic people who do amazing work. We also have a slew of rewards you can buy and a pile of fun things our crew will do as we reach milestones. Please make sure to check them all out at the link that will show up in the chat momentarily. Now that all that is out of the way, allow me to introduce myself. I am _Touring, and I will be your host, guide, and tale spinner for the evening as we tell a tale of awesome adventure in the world of Werewolf the Apocalypse 20th Anniversary Edition. Now, Clubs, please tell us a little about yourself and the character that you will be playing tonight.
Hello, I am Zachary Naldra, he, him. I can be found on the Bird app at Zach Rules. Tonight I am playing Breaker of Chains, Lupus Galliard of the Bone Gnawers.
Hi, my name is Ray Alexa. I use they, them pronouns. You can find me over on Twitter at RHAstaway. Tonight I will be playing a Sage Lavat, your Child of Gaia Thurge.
And I am J3 Billion, otherwise known as John, and I will be playing Freshio de Seth, our Hamid. God, I completely fucked it up. Sorry, Glasswalker. Yeah.
That's not the part I thought he messed up, honestly.
Before we get back into the story, let's check in with our resident Galliards so they can remind us what happened last time we were together.
The Cubs reached the shore of Caribou Island. Almost immediately, a blizzard set in and visibility became almost zero. Using Linda's mirror shades and holding paws and tails, the pack instantly sidestepped into the Umbra. The area of the Umbra they stepped into is that of a powerful moonlit glade. Strong trees, stillness, and the smell of wild surrounds them. This is one of the most pure and pristine areas of the Umbra that any of them have ever seen. Using their umbral senses, Sage senses a tug in the direction of Grandmother and begins to head off in that direction. They enter a clearing ahead and see a large herd of caribou spirits. The caribou rear their heads, but look in a different direction of the pack. Breaker begins to circle around through the tree line, beginning his hunt. As her packmates spread out, Linda notices a large gorilla covered in rigid spikes all along its body. The creature emerges from the tree line, and Linda is easily able to identify or sense its immense maw stretching from ear to ear. Linda warns the pack of what she has seen, and Sage recalls that it is a scrag, the spirit left behind by a mass murderer, shock troops of the worm. Following Breaker's lead and honing their pack tactics and sheer ferocity, the pack makes short work of this evil spirit. After the heated battle, the group notices a log cabin just off the clearing. They enter the cabin and search around, only to see that it is a ridiculously large amount of attacks during to meet animals everywhere. Kiva tugs Sage, letting them know that something big is approaching the cabin. Outside of cabin, they sense the herd of caribou returning, this time with reinforcements. Sage hears a voice within the warbling call of the caribou. Come outside, it calls. Exiting the cabin to see the clearing is now overflowing with caribou, and at the center of this throng stands what can only be described as an incarnate of caribou. This spirit thanks us for saving the herd and offers us a totem. So long as we follow its rules, do not harm the young, do not harm pregnant mothers. So long as these rules are followed, the pack is under the spirit's protection. The caribou spirit tells us that Grandmother has been taken by the worm. Willing to show us the way there to where she is held, the pack follows the herd as it departs the clearing. As they move further into the forest, spiderwebs begin to appear and their movement slows to a crawl. The webs get thicker and thicker until they come upon a radar installation type structure made completely of webbing. Breaker surveys the area looking for a way in and notices a number of shadowy guard spirits. With no noticeable break in the web shell, Linda quickly takes a glimpse at the material plane to see what is reflected there. She sees that there is only a bunker type structure with an elevator with a keypad but no guards. The pack decided the easiest way to get into the facility is to exit the Umbra and use the elevator. Fraser is able to bypass the keypad and call the elevator. They take the elevator down what seems to be forever. The door opens on what can only be described as a rustic coffee shop, playing ska music. The robust smell of roasted coffee beans fill the air. Off to the side there is a small stage which a band is playing a no doubt cover. The pack shrugs this off as ridiculous and moves through to the far door. The smells of antiseptic, dust, and laboratories hit them all like a smack in the face. Moving through the facility, they come upon a door behind which they can smell blood and pain. Pushing through the door, we came upon an old-style operating theater, and the center hangs an old woman, bloody, limp, and bound in silver chains. Before they have a chance to come to the woman's aid, another woman in a pencil skirt and white blouse steps out of the shadows. As the pack springs into action to free the old woman, the businesswoman is not what she seems, immediately shifting into a Krynos black spiral dancer, and the lights go out. A bloody brawl ensues between the BSD Breaker and Linda, while the remaining pups attempt to free grandmother. Claws, fangs, blood, and green flames flash dance throughout the room. Although the pups are able to bring the BSD down and save grandmother, Linda is downed and Breaker is left immensely burned. The pack is now left with the duty of exfiltrating from the facility with their injured in tow.
Jason, you're muted.
No, we
No.
cannot hear you now.
We cannot hear you.
Nope, still can't hear you.
How about now?
Yes.
There we go.
You did
Okay.
it.
I don't know what that was, but okay.
It was the
Alright.
Weaver fucking shit up. That's what
the
it was.
Weaver just messing with shit. Yes.
I'm looking at you, Fraser.
Joke.
I did everything. All of it.
All of it. Everything you said I did, I did. Take full responsibility.
If you
As
can
a
imagine
ragamuffin.
it, I did it.
Yes.
Fraser is secretly in league with the Weaver and the Black Spiral Dancers.
He's a glass walker. It's
I
not
mean-
that. The Weaver part is not that secret.
The Weaver
I
part's
mean, the
not that
Weaver,
secret.
sure. I mean, but I mean, like, I don't fuck with corruption. I don't grow fucking 20 fangs and try and bite people. That's just mean. All I want is a fucking coffee and some goddamn poutine.
It's fine, but
Quest.
we're going to go
Quest
get
for
coffee
poutine.
when this is all over. Like we're going to go get some coffee. Remember?
I appreciate that. That's gonna be the penultimate quest ending right there. We got the grandmother. She's safe. We're back home. All right, let's go get some fucking coffee
And poutine. That's right.
and poutine.
Like I promised to buy you. I promised to buy you a coffee.
I think you promised to buy several coffees, if I remember
All of-
correctly.
I did. I
If I
did.
remember correctly, it was all of the coffee.
All of the
No.
coffee.
No. You did promise to get a few of them.
I did. Yes, I did. Absolutely. And they will be like hand pressed.
Look, we know there's a
from the machine.
there's a coffee
From a
shop right
barista.
outside, out of the laboratory area, so we can get some on the way out. But we have a nearly dead
Yes.
grandmother to deal with.
Hold on.
I love that this conversation could be happening right after we kill her, and we're just all standing around with
Just all
grandmother
arguing
right there.
about coffee. Yeah. All right, so let's shift
so-
back over.
Fucking Hamid's always thinking about other shit than what's going on.
So
So
Breaker is looking after Linda, while Sage and Fraser have the little old lady kind of cradled between them. You guys have broken those silver infused chains off of her, and you can see that already some of the wounds that have been, kind of cuts and bruises and stuff like that on her face are already starting to heal.
Sage is going to use Mother's Touch.
Okay.
Which does... document. All right. Once upon a time, I had up and down in a Google Doc.
Fair. While we're waiting here for a second, did we regain any willpower yet?
You regain willpower after a night of rest. So you guys would have gotten. Well, Fraser, you slept all the way on the boat ride, so you definitely would have regained one there. And then you would regain them by basically kind of fulfilling certain things. We'll
Okay.
say that freeing grandmother got you another one back. Say everybody gets a willpower back for completing a quest of finding a grandmother.
Excellent, because I'm not gonna lie, I might have been down to one. I hear bad things happen when you get to 0.
Yeah, you kind of get a little lethargic.
Just my feet. I can't
Did-
go
did-
any farther
Did
without
we
putting-
regain anything else for saving a grandmother from the grasp of the worm?
You will definitely gain some renown for that when you return and tell this tale.
So I'm still down notices. Got it.
Yes. All right. Mother's Touch. Did you find that?
All right.
Because I have it here. I pulled it up here. You spend a gnosis point and roll intelligence plus medicine difficulty of the wounded individual's rage, or 6 for non-Garu. Each success heals 1 health level. Fears may heal even battle scars in this manner if you use it in the same scene in which the scar was obtained, and you spend a second gnosis point. So, grandmother's rage right now is at a 4. So, intelligence, medicine, 4, please.
So, what condition is Linda in?
Linda is unconscious and slowly healing. She has returned to her Hamid form because she went unconscious. And basically her entire abdomen is basically torn open because the BSD had kind of raked across that, and that's what had dropped her right before you ripped its throat out.
Okay. And what form has the BSD turned into?
The BSD has remained in Krenos. So she was a Garu born. How many
Sure, she's
successes did
dead.
you get, Sage?
3.
3 successes, okay. So you lay your hand on her and call upon the spirits, and you see the good portion of those wounds seal up and heal up, and her eyes open up. She looks between the two of you, and she looks over and sees Zach or Breaker and Linda, and in a weak voice she says, "Thank you. Thank you for coming."
Of course.
Yes, I hear there's a coffee shop near the entrance. Should we go now?
Your packmate's bleeding out and you're thinking about coffee?
No, that was just so we could leave. Like I want to leave.
Okay. we may want to do something so that Linda's guts don't fall out while we carry her out.
She,
my apologies. I believed her to be unconscious, but
Yeah.
so
Fraser, you help Breaker carry Linda, and I will take care of Grandmother.
no,
solid plan.
no. I will care for your pack mate. You three, you must find the boy. He's more important than me.
What now?
Find the boy.
Which
Boy.
Which boy?
Was he held here?
They took him somewhere else.
Who is he?
He is my ward, my pupil. His name is Sawyer.
How old is he? What does he look like?
Just barely changed. They separated us when they took us. They brought me here and they took him. They must have taken him somewhere else.
Is there any computers in this room? Like, it is a scientific facility, yeah?
Yep, you turn around and there is a computer on a cart.
I would like to try and use this computer to access the network using my plug and play.
Okay.
And just see if there's any records on this boy and where they took him.
All right.
Meanwhile, Breaker doesn't have any medicine, but he's just gonna take like Linda's shirt or something and like wrap it around her.
Well, she actually motions to you to bring Linda over to her.
I will then pick up Linda and bring her over to Grandmother.
Okay. So she does something similar to what you just saw Sage do. But she actually, when she does it, she is... it's a little bit different than what Sage is used to seeing. She actually leans down and licks her forehead. And you see the wounds start to seal up.
Those might be her first scars. Don't heal her too much.
Very well. So, Fraser, give me an intelligence plus computer at 7, please.
Intelligence and computers.
See how much information you can get out of. Actually, I'm going to say we'll say at a 6 because you're using your plug and play, so it makes it a little bit easier to find stuff.
Can I use larceny? Because I would be looking for like hidden folders and places that someone would hide information.
Sure.
All right. Rolling. Yeah, geez, nothing.
Nothing?
No, not a botch, but nothing.
Okay. So, searching around, you find a reference to Site Alpha, and you find a reference to Site Indigo.
Oh, jeez.
And based upon what you're seeing, you believe that you guys are in Site Indigo. But where Site Alpha is, and anything more on it, you aren't able to find anything. So you do know that there is another site that is associated with or linked to this, but as far as where it is, you weren't able to determine.
I do have some contacts I could use. It does require getting out of here first. I have one. And there's how big is this island?
If I remember correctly, it is. About 3 miles long and maybe in a mile and a half wide.
Okay, so it's not feasible that they're going to have another site on this island. I'll bring the information back and I'll tell them all I could find was there's another site. They call it Site Alpha, but it doesn't reference to where. It's a lead. It's a shot in the dark. I have some people I can call and try and figure out what's going on after we get out of here. How's Linda doing?
She's stable, but she'll need time to heal. You go find the boy. I will care for her. When you found him, bring him to my cabin.
Is your cabin's here?
Yes.
Okay. Are you sorry?
Did the Black Spiral Dancer have a clipboard or keys or anything that they would not have shifted it with?
If you go over to where she had been, you do find that there is a like a satellite radio laying on the ground. So it probably fell when she shifted.
Other than the door that we came in through, are there any other doors?
Not in this lab, no.
It's weird.
How big is this facility? Is it just like the one jaunt down?
You had passed quite a few offices and other labs, so this is a fairly large facility. You would say that they would probably, if it was fully staffed, there'd be maybe a dozen or two people staffed here.
Okay.
And you found like a pair of barracks that you would say was sleep about that many people.
Let's go ask some questions.
The only other individuals that you saw was the ska band back in the coffee shop in the lobby.
You want to go back to the band? I mean,
No,
we
but
could
there has-
somehow battle them. I'm not sure how
There's
that would work.
there's too many rooms for just the band. There's got to be more somewhere.
I tend
There's
to
got to be
agree.
more information here.
Well,
I
okay.
would like to explore.
Well, what should we ask the band?
Fuck the band. There's
The
a
ba-
sleeping quarters. There's stuff
The-
in there. There might be clues.
You guys had, when you came through here, you searched all the rooms. This was the last, basically at the end of the corridor. And you had seen that there was a lot of dust and no signs of anybody living here.
Can I do something?
Yeah.
Well,
Because, sorry.
oh, go ahead.
Because first, because I'm an idiot and I didn't change the difficulty, which was set at 9.
Oh.
And
Why don't
then, oh, sorry.
Why don't you re-roll with the 6 then?
I would like to, instead of looking for exactly where the base is built, like shipping manifests, those should contain, roughly where stuff is, hopefully.
Yep.
So just to clarify, you're saying, on our pass through, we came looking for bodies. Looking through for information about Site Alpha would be pointless.
Oh, okay. So, no, I thought you were looking for somebody to question. Sorry.
No, I did roll 1 this time. I got 1 success.
You got 1 success. Okay. So, that is enough to tell you a location for Site Alpha.
Thank God.
You don't get much more, but you know that Site Alpha is located on a small island about a mile off the coast of the larger Caribou Island.
Well, I found out where they were from the shipping manifests. I do wonder if we find anything more on the bodies. I do like that idea.
I would like to look through to see if maybe there is a uniform we can find in the barracks area.
Okay.
Or any identification cards or anything like that.
Okay. Why don't everybody roll me a perception plus, say, investigation, because you're digging through drawers and desks and kind of trying to piece together any kind of clues that you find in paperwork or other stuff.
I as a lupus, this is going to be something he's going to search for to sniff things out. So I will be in breed form for this.
Okay.
Wait, sorry. No, I'm training it. Jack doesn't do any. Don't do Jack this time. If it helps the storyteller, I botched.
4 for Zach. Got it.
Yep.
And 4 for... Well, luckily, Fraser getting distracted by the smell of coffee is offset by his pack mates and their great noses and great minds.
He just starts
yeah.
grumbling.
Yeah, I want, when searching for whatever information I can, I want to use my common sense narrative.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, so Fraser gets distracted and starts trying to figure out how to use the coffee machine in the lobby to make himself coffee.
I see these people use them at least twice a week.
But while he is doing that, Breaker has made his way through the barracks and has located jumpsuits with the Pentex logo on them and a arm patch that says Project Iliad, I believe is what I have put down.
I am going to pick up the how many sets?
You find several of them. You manage to find a set that you think will fit each of your packmates and yourself if you were in Hamid form really well. With 4 successes, you find enough that you can sort through to find sizes that won't look ridiculous on you guys.
All right. I will drag back the sizes that fit.
Okay. And then on the other hand, Sage has been focusing a little bit more on the administrative offices that they had managed to find and digging through the desks there. What you discover is that Site Alpha is the primary site, as far as you can tell. It seems like this was an offshoot of it, that has been abandoned for, by the look of it, at least a decade or so. So the paperwork that you're finding, the stuff that you're finding, is kind of out of date, but you do find references to barracks. You find a reference to satellite communication, and you find reference to first teams.
To what?
First teams.
First teams. Okay. Sage, like regardless of how out of date it is, it is going to put all of those folders in their bag. Because you never know what's going to actually end up being relevant. Now,
Okay.
Sage is going to go find Breaker, and so I found something. This building we're in is an offshoot. The other site is the main one, and this building. I think we should talk to that ska band, because this building hasn't been used in a decade. Why are they here?
It's the only place that people will let them play. Their music is horrible. What did you find? Do we know what the thing we killed? Do we know what her name is?
But I wanted to find
files.
everything I found is from 10 years ago. This building is closed down.
She had the hand thing that the people talk with.
I mean, didn't she say she was using grandma for bait specifically?
But she had the thing that people talk to other people on through the air. She had to be talking to someone. She had to take notes, right?
Say no, that'd be dumb. That'd be very, very dumb.
You have common sense. It's up to the ST to tell you if it's dumb.
It's dumb or not, yeah.
Ray thinks it's dumb.
Abuse that merit.
That's what the merit is for you to throw out things, and the ST's job to be like, you have common sense to tell you that that's dumb.
Like, no, that's dumb. Don't do that.
That's exactly what the merit is used for.
Okay, so this is what I'm thinking. Picking up that radio, and Sage doing their best impersonation of this lady, and seeing who's on the other side of the radio.
Okay. Your common sense tells you that you heard her say 4 words or around there, because she said, I was wondering when they would send someone. So that's 7 words that you heard her say before started a fight. So you can try that, but you think that it might be hard to mimic her voice considering how short of a period of time it was. What may be better would be to make it sound like you're under attack or under duress or something like that, though. Now that might, I mean, depending if you want to try to draw people to you.
We've got the uniforms, right?
Yep.
So
this is to the pack, not to. We got these uniforms here, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So you two put them on.
Mm-hmm.
And then we find like a fake cage to put me in.
Well, you don't have your uniform?
That doesn't work with my plan.
Oh, okay, I'm listening.
You use the talkie thing to tell them that the base has been compromised. No need to send to reinforcements, but it is structurally unsound, and we need an evacuation to Site Alpha, and that you've caught one of the wolves. So then I'm in the cage when they pick us up. They bring me to the holding place, and then there's a fake cage, so I break out.
Right. So we don't handcuff you, is what you're saying.
No, I'll be in wolf form. You can't handcuff me in wolf.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
I mean, will you snarl ferociously when you break out of the cage? Oh, okay.
I'll snarl fucking all over the place.
Sage is going to take a look at that band because Sage does not trust that band.
Okay. Yeah, they're just up there playing away.
Can we kill them and when we say at the talkie thing that they killed the band?
They killed the band. That's what's going to get the this is out of character. That's what's going to get like the reinforcements because that was a much beloved band.
They're playing here in the middle of nowhere to an audience of one person being tortured and one sadistic, cruel, evil black spiral dancer.
They're
beloved by no one.
They're here practicing for a wedding.
They're practicing far enough away so no one can hear them. Because their music is trash. So, yes, we should kill them. Good idea.
Yeah.
Yes, murder everywhere.
Kill them all.
So yeah, that was out.
Actually, yeah, that's that does give Breaker an idea.
But no, yeah,
So you approach the stage, and they do not react at all.
I really hope.
Yeah,
Sorry.
like see, yeah, like.
I shift into Krynos in front of the band.
Yeah, Sage is not
No
trusting
reaction.
this.
I take up a chair and I throw it at one of them.
Okay, the chair goes right through them.
This is some Weaver bullshit.
It's a hologram.
Weaver. See,
Gem in the
this is why.
hologram. This was a classic. This is garbage.
This is the definition of Weaver bullshit, yes.
Very definition.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I was hoping one of them was real and making coffee, but here we are. Yeah. Okay. Who puts on a hologram and then also like fucking this shitty music? Seriously, who spends thousands of dollars to recreate this?
What if, Fraser? What if it was that dancer's favorite band?
What if the ska band is playing the musical notes that we need to get in through the door of Site Alpha? That's the only explanation.
You gotta sing "Don't Go Walking in the Spiderwebs."
Right in front of the door. See what happens. It's fine. Everything's fine.
I still think that it was the Black Sparrow Dancer. This was her favorite band.
That would make sense. She has no taste.
She is a BSD. I mean,
she is corrupted by the worm.
I look over at Breaker. No. I can't fucking talk.
Don't worry, you'll get the Weaver out of you if you stay out in the wilderness long enough. You'll get your tongue back. It'll work perfectly fine.
You know, Breaker.
He just kind of like sticks out his tongue. Wrong with that. Huh?
You know, Breaker. You should. When this is all over, you should come with me on my survival hikes that I take with the kids.
And one of these days, I will finally get to show you some of the. I will bring some of the city to the wilderness.
No,
Specifically drinks.
The wilderness does not want that.
What drinks? You don't even want drinks? Like
We don't want that is the
that
poison
doesn't
of the
sound
worm.
the poison. How is that? What do you hear yourself?
How is putting a liquid poison into your body not a corrupting influence?
It's not poison.
I have seen what it does to humans. How they grow angry and violent and hurt others and do bad
you
things.
got it. See there?
It is liquid corruption in a bottle.
Liquid,
Are we talking about?
geez.
Are we talking
Concentrated
about, like,
Weaver bullshit? That's what they call it.
Concentrated Weaver bullshit.
No, that's straight up worm bullshit.
Oh,
we talking
worm.
about
Oh, corruption.
Are
Oh, shit. I didn't
Are we
know
talking-
my entire life was a lie.
Are we talking about coffee or alcohol here? Because I have questions.
I think we're talking about anything that's not objectively water at this point.
Milk's okay.
Milk's fine.
Zach's face when he said it.
Straight from the cow, though.
You gotta get right up under there.
And so
All right, back.
back to the plan. So let's find the cage, and we will go and we will use the phone, the talkie thingy, to call, and then they'll come pick us up, and they'll bring us to Alpha, Site Alpha.
Short, sweet, what could go wrong?
Exactly. It's genius.
Everything could go
I admit there's a part of me that feels a little grossed out about this plan.
Nice.
I just feel kind of gross about putting Breaker in a cage again.
It's a fake cage.
I know, but I still don't feel great about it, you know?
Okay.
Just because you're my packmate, I don't like it.
But
I mean, I'll shut that door on your ass and be fine. I'm kidding. You're awesome, Breaker.
Sage wants to talk to Kiva or perhaps another ancestor and see if any of them might be willing. Like if any of them have advice, or if any of them would be willing to look into the Site Alpha when we get there and give us like any kind of like info, like any kind of like guidance when we get there. It's like,
Do you want them to like scout for you?
yeah, like if they're willing to.
Okay. Let's see.
I will say I have a really good charisma.
Let's do.
I got a 4 out of 5 in charisma.
All right, so I'm going to say that you're going to, because Kiva, you can always kind of talk to.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask for a willpower roll. So I want you to roll your current willpower at a difficulty of Let's say 8, because you're trying to kind of reach out to her or to them and get their attention. But
Breaker is
you're
off.
in a very Weaver place, so I'm putting it at the difficulty of the local gauntlet here.
Yeah, like
Because you're basically trying to send a message into the Umbra through the gauntlet.
yes.
While Sage has started zoning out and speaking to the ancestors, Breaker is going to go look for a cage so that he can, or other possible devices that would work for his plan.
No, you actually, when you guys had done your initial sweep through, you did find a lab where they had apparently been doing something with animals, because there are cages in there.
It's gonna push the biggest one off the table and kind of push it towards the door.
Okay, yeah, you find one that's basically seems like it's designed to hold something large enough that it needs wheels on the bottom so it can be rolled around.
That one.
Hey, look at that. I don't have to push you around everywhere.
And hopefully it's not silver.
It is not.
So, if you're breaker of chains right now, right? So, like, if you get in the cage and then you explode out of it, does it make you breaker of cages as well? Like, does it just keep going? So it's breaker of chains, breaker of cages. All right, I'm keeping a list.
I'm speaks with ancestors.
Okay, so we got one speaks with ancestors. So far, only breaker of chains.
Breaker tilts his head looking at Sage as it appears that they have made a breakthrough in their searching with the ancestors.
I am one he who drinks with coffee.
I've been speaks with ancestors for a while. I got 7, 8, and 9, and 10.
So 4
Nice.
successes. Okay. Yeah, Kiva pops in their voice in the back of your head. How can I help you, child?
We are about. I tell her about everything that's happened since we've gotten here.
Okay.
And we weren't prepared for this to happen. We weren't. We expected. I was an idiot. I should have expected something. But I was wondering, is there someone who might be willing to scout for us? So we can help grandmother more?
A scout. Scout what? Scout where?
Oh, like no, I'm saying like I told her about.
Oh, okay. So you like, hey, we want you to go scout Alpha.
Yeah, like
Alpha,
just
something
like
that. Okay.
Yeah, I just like.
Okay. That's what spirits are for. To do things like that for the Garu. You just have to find one.
You know who? You're the only one who I speak to mostly, so I wasn't sure who to reach out to.
For that, spirit of a fish or a bird, spirit of the air or the water, spirit of the earth would not work so well. Just call upon the spirits when you are on the other side, when you are on the side with the spirits.
Would they require any kind of offering?
Quite probably. Chiminage is what they call it, where you provide a service in exchange for a service.
All right.
For something as simple as putting eyes on something and reporting back, I wouldn't think that it would be too high of a cost.
All right.
Just remember, spirits are simple. Keep your commands concise.
Right.
Keep your ask concise. Use little words.
All right. Thank you, Kiva.
No problem, child. And then you feel that presence fade again.
All right. So when we get there, I can perform and ask a spirit to do the scout for us in little words.
So you're saying after we've done the Trojan cage idea, then we scout around a bit, and then we go.
What's the Trojan?
Term is murder ball everything. Real famous people. They once used a wooden horse and all climbed inside of it, and they got in through the gate, and the horse shit them all out.
Not literally.
And they sacked the city. Yeah, yep. Took it over. It was great. They were called the Trojans.
Doesn't sound comfortable.
If you're,
I wouldn't want to be shit out of a horse.
No,
it wasn't.
It worked.
What it was, Breaker, is it was a giant wooden horse. All right? Large, huge, giant wooden horse. And there was a war. And one side of the war,
So the horse ate all of the soldiers.
Stop talking, Fraser. You're going to confuse him. I swear to God, you will lose a coffee.
God damn it! Fucking God. Oh my
Damn, where
God!
it
Coffee
hurts.
against me.
What's a god? Is that like, what's a god?
Okay, so
Hey,
there was this war.
do we have time for this?
Yeah, it's very. I'd already finished the story had he not interrupted us. So there was a war.
I mean, I thought it was pretty clear, but
2 coffees left. Just 2 coffees.
God damn it! Fucking hell!
So there was war. Giant horse. One side said, "Hey, since you beat us in this war, we're going to do this giant horse." And the Trojans were like, "Dope." So the other side that claimed to have lost put all their soldiers in this giant horse. The horse got pulled in the city. The Trojans got drunk, and all the people hopped out of the horse and then slaughtered all the Trojans.
See, that's why you don't drink, Fraser. Drinking is bad. You get shit on by giant horses.
Yeah, that's true. So we need to put you in the Trojan cage.
In this case, Breaker, you are the soldier who is hiding in the giant horse.
Yes, and not only that, you have to explode the cage. You can't just open the door. You gotta.
I'm a warrior of Gaia. Of course, I'll explode it.
Fuck yeah, you are.
So
fuck yes, you are.
So what? So You do weird things with Weaver bullshit. Does Weaver bullshit have spirits?
Well, yeah. I mean, everything
So then
has a
you
spirit.
can do your Weaver bullshit, and you can talk to his Weaver bullshit, and you can do your thing that way, right?
So, DM question:
Mhm.
Is
It's
there
a DM.
is there is there a spirit of the interweb?
There are many spirits of the interwebs.
It's
They're
more than
called-
MySpace.
No, that one's dead. Sorry.
That one's dead. Sorry.
In my other werewolf game, MySpace has come up, so it is it is still a thing.
So the internet is it is a web, and there are spiders that make it up. They're called pattern spiders, and they work for the Weaver.
Yeah, I could call one up and I actually think it would work very well if we can communicate on that level. I normally
So
don't communicate directly with them, but if Ray could, absolutely.
you call your bullshit Weaver spirits, and then Sage, you do your thing with the spirits.
The action spirits.
Yes, I will.
The Weaver
I'll call
spirits.
I'll get a
And then-
vine spirit. Yes, absolutely.
Vine spirits.
I don't know what that. Vine
Those are
is
dead
not.
too.
Vines are not Weaver. They're plants. I think you're confusing.
Oh
me
no,
with
it's like
something.
10-second videos, and it died in like a year ago. So technically, they're the spirits. It was a
don't
very
have
funny
time.
joke in my head.
It was
We don't
fun.
have time for you to explain all of those things to me that I don't understand. So, we've got the talkie thing. Let's get the other alpha people on the phone, and get Alpha here to take us to Alpha, so we can fuck shit up.
I like it. Clear,
save the boy.
concise.
Okay, so what are you guys doing? How are you going to execute this?
Well, we're making Breaker Chewbacca.
Yep.
That's right.
Yep. Otherwise known as the Trojan Cage.
Mhm.
This is
I
make
like
me
mine
Han
better.
Solo.
Yeah. But that also makes me Luke Skywalker. So
No, you're the one who's interfacing with the machine, so you're R2.
that fits. That fits really well, actually. Fair.
Sometimes the werewolf
Would you
pack
like
is
to know-
Han Solo, Chewbacca, and R2-D2.
Would you like to know the probability of success? It's better that I don't tell you. Yeah, so we get him on the line, say that what's her name has been killed, but we captured a prisoner. They're going to want to know what the name of what's her name is. Do we know what the name of what's her name is? I don't.
No, you guys killed her before she could do her monologue.
I mean, to be fair, Fraser,
Yes,
if we do this correctly,
more coffee.
I swear to God, you will lose 3 copies.
God damn it.
Potentially, if we do this correctly, she won't have time to say anything because she is dealing with a situation.
I like that. That's a good. Yes.
We just have
Could
to let
very
them
well
over.
work.
We just have to let them overhear shit.
Just tell them
Yeah.
everyone's dead. You're the only survivors. Everything's fucked up. I'm gonna go fuck some shit up just so that to back up that story, and then that you need an escort to get me to a secure location at Project Alpha, because that's where I was supposed to be going anyways. But the order hadn't put in. Time is of the essence. More of those fucks are coming. Blah 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 blah.
No, I'm saying it's like
And then Breaker heads off to start just trashing.
Just trashing shit. Okay.
He's just trashing whatever he can find.
Everything.
Labs, bunks.
Fraser's like I'm assuming Breaker.
He's
is
marking his
starting
territory.
Fraser's starting in, or Breaker's starting in the immediate vicinity, so he's just like he's got a pen and paper and he's writing down everything that he breaks.
He's throwing the coffee machine.
Why? That's just
To make it look real.
I could have taken that home.
You couldn't figure it out to begin with.
That's what YouTube's. Oh shit! He doesn't know what YouTube is. Goddamn.
So Sage is gonna go into the room, or like the original room where we found grandmother, and grab the walkie-talkie. Not going to say anything.
Okay. Do you grab the laptop as well?
Oh, laptop. What was on the laptop?
That's what Fraser was using to look stuff up.
Yes, we will. Well, I'm not going to grab. I'm going to grab the laptop, put it in my bag. But while Breaker is breaking things, living up to his name, I'm going to just press the button so whoever is on the other line
Can hear that. Okay.
I'm building it up.
Okay.
So I can't talk. You can no.
Okay.
It's all.
So Linda is conscious enough to pull off her Magpie swag bag and hold it out to you.
Well, while this interaction is happening, specifically before the call, because I don't want my shenanigans fucking shit up.
Mm-hmm.
Fraser is just going to look over at Breaker and go, "Okay, now you are a smasher of vials, breaker of beds, snapper of bedpost, chew toy with the garden gnome."
We're just vibing tonight.
You don't. That's not how deed names work. Didn't they teach you that? I got my name because I broke a fucking chain. That's what
I don't see the difference.
How did you get your name?
Smasher of computers.
How did you get Fraser? What did you do to get Fraser?
That was my given name.
I mean, they just give you names?
Yes.
Mohammeds are
Bender
weird.
of spoons.
You Mohammeds are weird. They just give you names.
Yes, they give me names.
We get names for earning them. We do stuff for them.
Oh,
Sage
okay.
is not
And
pressing down the wall.
elders give names, not cubs.
Yes,
Sage is not pressing the button, and she's like, and they when they walk out, they're like, yeah, when I was born, I was Sage Michaels, and then when I came to live with the tribe, I got adopted, and then I'm Sage Lovat, and then the tribe was having some issues. So I talked to the spirits and I was like, hey, I think we should do this. And they didn't listen to me because I was a cub, obviously. And then it turns out I was right. And I became Speaks with Ancestors.
Well, there you go. I mean, it's a much better name than Smasher of Cinderblock over here, but I digress.
Don't mind me the fact that I'm just happen to be rolling rage right now. Don't worry about that. It's probably okay.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
So, as soon as Breaker starts breaking things again, Sage is going to hold down the the button on the walkie-talkie,
Yep.
and is going to make a very clear sign of like they are obviously running, of like from whatever's happening.
Okay, so you're gonna you want to hold it and kind of hold the button down and like run away from the sound.
Yes.
Okay.
By the way, that was 3 successes on my rage roll.
Okay. You're lucky that you guys took care of the BSD, because that would have been a frenzy with her around.
And again, John knows it doesn't end well if he keeps poking. Frazier doesn't really care.
Well, it's a very ragabash thing to do.
And to be honest, it's actually really kind of fun.
You have no room to guide us.
It's gonna end up with him getting bitch slapped across the fucking.
A concept.
Just, wah! He flies 20 feet, hits a brick wall, and just keels over.
So, when Sage is going to run to a different room than
Okay.
grandmother and Linda. Go in the room, and the breaking stuff is still going on, and is just going to be like, okay, so the plan is to say that we caught a werewolf and shit's going down. We don't need reinforcements, right? Zach, what's my script?
Evacuation team. We need to get out before more come in.
We have a prisoner.
Have a prisoner.
Thank you.
Should probably leave some. Should probably send some guards to be prepared for when they come back.
Okay. Hold on. This just for dramatic. Holds the button down. We need an evacuation. There's been an attack. We got a prisoner. Crash. Background. Some more guards in case more come.
And then click it off. Okay. Roll manipulation and subterfuge at a 7, please.
Like even with all of my attempts to make it seem like this is going on for a while. Okay, manipulation.
Is there any way I can aid this?
That's true. You did set this up. You did do some work before. So let's make it a 5.
Yeah. Is there any way Fraser can aid this, please?
Yes, I do have charisma and manipulation.
I also have I have 4 in charisma.
Plus subterfuge.
But he wants me to roll manipulation.
Yes, manipulation is more what we're working with here, because you're trying to. Well, you're lying out of your ass.
So.
You're manipulating them.
Yes, I am. That is 3 successes.
Okay. You do not hear any replies.
Sage is going to leave the walkie in the room.
Okay.
Go out, tell their pack what happened, that they did it, and that they did not hear a reply.
Did you make sure you got someone? Did you say, can you hear me now? I heard that's a thing.
It's not a thing.
I mean, it was a thing.
It was, but it's not.
I mean, what? Late 2010, I think.
Did Did you check the Wi-Fi's and the Bluetooths?
No, there's nothing with a Bluetooth around here. I used to have a Bluetooth though. Spirit was a little cranky. It asked me why it died. I dyed it blue, but such is life. Everybody needs Bluetooth.
I don't know what either of the things are. It's just things that I've heard.
Oh.
So we don't know if it actually connected.
No, we don't. Without them responding back, the communication between the two devices, you're just sending radio waves from one device out into the air. We assume somebody heard something. We should actually probably exit the facility and just have you in the cage outside and wait for a moment.
All right.
And sure enough, Fraser is correct. You guys roll the cage up topside, and I'm assuming Breaker gets into it.
Yeah, Breaker's gonna be in the cage.
Okay.
He's gonna he's probably seeing some old rerun of MacGyver or something. So he's gonna find some paper clips, chewed up
Yeah, buddy.
chewed up wad of paper, and stick it in the lock so it looks like it's closed, but it's not.
So you get up topside, and within a few minutes, you hear the sound of a helicopter approaching. And it sweeps over top of you, banks, kind of circles around a couple times, and then flies back in the direction that it came from.
Before we get too far along, I'd just like to ask one question.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any smart devices on these, the bodies or anywhere close to here?
The only body that you had run
Was
into
her?
was her, and you had the radio off of her.
Okay, so otherwise no
And the laptop.
smartphone or anything like that?
No.
Okay, so got it, laptop.
Yeah, so she's got basically it's not a sat phone, it's like an actual satellite radio. So just verbal.
Okay,
But that's what the laptop was plugged into that was acting as basically the modem for it.
Yeah, the data point.
Yep.
Yeah, I was just asking because of my feet. Use stuff on stuff. Thank you.
Yep. Your plug and play your plug and play
Yes.
gift, you can use through that laptop.
All right.
And through the radio.
Okay. Thank you.
That was how you were accessing stuff earlier, essentially. But that flies off, and not too long after that, you start to hear the sounds, well, specifically Breaker starts to hear the sounds of people or something moving through the underbrush from that same direction. And it isn't too much longer before two groups of heavily armed individuals emerge from the woods, one slightly to the north of you and one slightly to the south of you. And they move with precision. As they come kind of doing that tactical walk with their knees kind of bent. The one team that is coming from kind of the south goes directly past you, keys the elevator, and starts to pile into it, while the team that is coming from the north approaches the three of you. So you caught one.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive for scrubs like you.
You know, I was just beginning to like you. But here we are now.
Would Breaker know if his packmates would be able to understand his growls?
Yes.
He is going to spew a line of profanity laced curses at the they got lucky, fuck this shit, you fucking let me out, I'll rip all of you into pieces, you garbage, I'll kill your entire fucking guns, then go downstairs and kill all the other ones. Fucking worm-faced motherfucker, fucking put your gun, and he will just continue going off like this, all while watching looking and kind of growling at the men and potentially women. I don't know. I'm not judging.
It's hard to tell because they've
guns.
got the whole
Yeah.
tactical gear on with the not a gas mask, but they've got the baklava up and everything.
Yep. So he's just watching them, looking dead at whichever one is closest to the cage,
Okay.
while he's growling
Yep.
out all of these profanities,
Snarling and yeah.
Yep.
Frasier literally has to cough because he is like on the verge of
Cracking up.
Yeah, absolutely.
We are all in like this vibe tonight.
You're not harsh on my mellow, man. I love it. Yeah.
So the leader of the team reaches up and grabs his microphone and speaks into it. He says, "First team, Alpha, target secured. Send retrieval."
Well,
And
you
he
guys
turns
didn't
to-
come here with enough to pick him up. We fucking phoned it over.
Yeah, that's why we're here.
So we're not leaving right now on that helicopter?
Well, it's coming back.
Oh my god.
And sure enough, the helicopter, a different helicopter, a larger helicopter, comes in and hovers over you, and two cables get lowered down from it. And they get attached to the cage.
I'm pretty sure we'll actually, like, attach one himself.
Yeah.
Fraser's gonna hook one up himself.
Mhm.
Yeah, and Sage will make sure they're secure.
Okay.
No.
So the cage lifts up until it's snug up against the belly of the helo.
The fuck is this bullshit?
And then
Howls.
it banks and flies off. And it's about break time, so
Flies off with breaker. See you in the next
Yeah.
10 minutes.
I think this is a good spot to take a break. And when we come back, you'll find out where Breaker went. And welcome back to Vorpal Tales. When we left you, Breaker of Chains, our Lupus Galliard Bonar, had just been caged caged of his own free will. Not so much the next part, where he was hoisted up onto a Pentex helicopter that flew off into the night. It doesn't take too much longer before another helicopter comes through, this one a little bit smaller. It drops down a handful of ropes, and the first team that came to retrieve you assists with getting Sage and Frazier harnessed up, attached to those lines, and you are hoisted up as well as the fire team. With all 6 of you in the helicopter, it's a little bit cramped, but you get a pretty decent view of Caribou Island from the air, something that you have not had yet. And what you can see from here is that you guys are on the southern end of the island, about in the center of it. And at the other end, as you bank and start to pull away in the moonlight, you can see the clearing with the cabin, only say 1.5 miles or 2 miles to the north. Go ahead and give me perception and alertness rolls for all 3 of you. Difficulty 6 for those of you in Hamid, difficulty 4 for our Lupus friend.
Perception and what?
And alertness, please.
That would be a 3.
3 successes, okay.
According to the tracker, yes.
Also 3.
3 and 4, okay. So all of you catch a glimpse of movement, and you see that Grandmother and Linda have slipped out of the facility and are making their way north, because you guys didn't really get them out of there before you let a first team in.
Oh, yeah.
But they have managed to make it out and are leaving the area. A short flight later, you're at the beach, and then it's only a few seconds of flight over the waters, icy waters of Lake Superior, before you are hovering over a small island, in the center of which is a lighthouse. But arrayed around it are a half dozen other buildings. The cage that holds Breaker is lowered down, and it is surrounded by armed guards. Very quickly, as soon as it touches the ground, and they start to roll it off to the side, and then that helicopter takes off and does a big loop around, while the smaller one that holds the troops comes in and lands, and the rest of you are offloaded. Over the roar of the helicopter and the blades, the first team shouts to Frazier and Sage, "We'll go ahead and lock it up with the other one. You guys go find a spot in the barracks."
Oh, yeah. Thanks. Yeah, we'll go find him.
Okay. So I'm gonna follow you two, and Zach and Breaker will get back to you shortly.
Just for the record, the entire time he is growling in Garu speak,
Yep.
so that he's watching for anybody who reacts to him, and as if they understand what he's saying. and not just growling.
Okay. So, Sage and Fraser, you guys walk off and you see that this place is crawling with people. There are the fire team that you guys flew in with, the one that was on the ground to receive Breaker's cage. And then you also see several other people that are individuals who are not dressed in the BDUs of the first team. A few of them are in more like a jumpsuit. They have different patches that are different than the ones that you have on. A couple of them are craning their necks, and they are watching what's going on with Breaker with interest. And two of them, you can't hear what they say over the helicopter, but you can see that they are very amused by something that's going on over there.
Can I... if time permits, I would like to go and sit with the laptop. Just find a... walk 10-15 paces away, just find a quiet space I can sit down with the laptop, and I would like to just, if I can, turn the mics on their comms and listen to what they're saying.
Okay. There's quite a few people milling around, so it's probably going to be more when you get into a building that you'll have the opportunity to do that.
Okay.
But Breaker, you do notice that there's two guys who are kind of off on the edge that are very amused, and their amusement escalates as your language increases. So you're pretty sure that those two over there in jumpsuits that are unmarked absolutely can understand what you're saying.
Fuck you, you inbreed dipshits.
And they both give you the finger and then wander off. But Sage and Fraser, you guys walking along, you see signs that clearly indicate the barracks is that way. And sure enough, one of the buildings that is not too far to the north has a sign on it that says barracks.
Okay.
And it is pretty late at night, but there's still several people wandering around and milling around. It's actually, you guys have been in that facility for a little while, so it is coming up on dawn now. So it seems like the facility is waking up for the day, essentially. And people are starting to pour out of the barracks. They're starting to move around. They start heading towards what you would assume would be the mess hall, because that's kind of where everybody is heading. So you guys get inside the barracks and you manage to find a set of bunk beds that is unoccupied. And soon enough, that room is empty and you can fire up the laptop.
Okay. I would like to do a couple things.
Yep.
If I may, I'm just putting it out there. I would like to communicate with or find out where they have their hangar, where they keep their helicopters, and I would like to find out their flight plans, and then I would like to program one of the autopilots on them to take us back to Thunder Bay.
Okay. So
yes, Thunder Bay.
Yeah, that was, yeah. So the first question was easily answered, in that the helicopters are not in a hangar. They're right there on, just kind of off the little landing pad.
Okay.
The one that you guys had come back in, the more of the smaller, more people transport one. As soon as you guys offloaded it, it got moved to the side so that the larger cargo helicopter could land and then get moved off to the other side. So basically, the helipad is large enough that it can hold those two helicopters off to the sides. Flight plans, they don't really have any because they're out here in the middle of nowhere, and they don't go high enough that they required that.
Okay.
And on the they don't have autopilot.
Okay, so they don't run in Cat 2. Okay.
No. So we're going to switch back over to. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to relay back. Like they don't. I tried securing a helicopter as our way out, but they're all manual, so we can just jump in one and leave.
As long as somebody knows how to fly a helicopter.
I have YouTube.
All right, let's jump back.
Someone
over
on
to
YouTube has
Breaker.
put this on the.
So, Breaker, you have an entire first team around you. You can smell their weapons, and you can smell that their weapons are loaded with silver. These guys are who Pentex sends out to deal with Garu threats. These guys are specifically designed and trained to kill Garu. And there are at least 3 teams of them here. 2 that flew out to that facility, 1 came back with you, and another one was on the ground to greet you when you came back. You noticed those 2 that were either kinfolk or Garu that understood what you were saying. Based on their reaction when you called them, what did you call them? Inbreds?
Inbred punks or something.
Something like that. Yeah. You're pretty sure that they fully understood the implications of that. As you are wheeled kind of behind your packmates, where they break off and go into the barracks, you get wheeled across the entire facility. So the southern end of the island is where the helicopter pad was, and you get wheeled past the lighthouse, which seems to be the central office. And there is a small, almost like a bunker at the north end of the island. And there, as you get closer, you begin to pick up with your heightened sense of hearing sounds of anguish and pain, wailing and not quite howling. As the doors get swung open, heavy steel doors get swung open, those cries get much, much louder. They roll you in through another set of secure doors where the sound gets even louder to the point where it is painful for your ears. You get rolled into a hallway where on one side there's a large, well, there's two large cages, one on each side. The left side cage is empty, and that's where you're assuming they're going to be putting you. On the right-hand side is a cage in which the largest man you have ever seen is chained up. This guy has got to be over 7 foot tall. He looks like his entire body is muscle to the point where there's no fat on him. And he is chained up with, once again, those silver chains but you can see that there are broken versions of those chains hanging on the wall, and more have been added. And his head is thrown back, so you can't see his face, but he appears as if he is in the most horrible pain you have ever conceived of. You gain a point of rage, and I would like you to make a rage roll, please.
Does that include the temporary rage I just gained, or?
Yes.
One. Wait, what's the difficulty?
Oh, that's a good question. Oh, where did I put my thing here?
It's not a full moon, is it?
No.
Okay.
Here we go. Difficulty of what do we have it on? I think we had it as a crescent, so difficulty 7.
Okay, yep. So, oh no, then 0 successes.
Okay, so you managed to suppress the bile, that rage bubbling up inside of you. As they roll your cage into the other cage, the cell, and they just lock the door behind you.
I'm just growling at all of them the way down. I'm going to kill you all when I get out of here. I am going to cover this wall with your entrails. I am going to kill you. I'm going to break him out, and then he is going to kill you, and then we're going to kill both of you again just for the fun of it.
Excellent.
I will resurrect you so I can kill you again.
Yes, I will bring you back, and then I will kill you again.
Just a really
And then
kill you.
I will have my spirit talking friend kill you again.
Me specifically, Sage will kill you.
They will have the third summon your spirit so that we can kill it too. Speaking of, Sage,
Kill
what are
you
you
till
doing
you're
while
dead.
Frazier is messing around on the computer?
So yeah, he finds out that like basically the helicopters are analog. He wants to know now. He wants to see if he can find a reason people go in and out of the where Breaker is going, specifically where Breaker is going. He wants to know, and then he wants to find people that go in and out of there.
Okay.
And try and fake some credentials.
Okay. While you're doing that, Sage, what are you doing?
So, is there any sign of cameras in this room?
No.
Is there a... Is there a bathroom in the barracks?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So Sage wants to go into the bathroom.
Okay.
Secondary question.
Mm-hmm.
This bathroom, is it just like a toilet and sink, or is there like a shower?
This is like a like almost like a military barracks. So there's a line of sinks with mirrors above them. Opposite them are stalls of toilets. There's probably a half dozen of them. Mm-hmm. And then on the other side, there's a large communal shower. So it's just kind of a big room with a drain in the middle of the floor and shower heads, maybe 8 of them kind of arrayed around it.
Okay. So one first thing Sage is going to do when they go into this bathroom is they are going to touch every single mirror in here and check to see if it is two-sided
You can tell that there's nothing on the other side because the other side of where the
Yeah.
mirrors will be is the shower.
It's just like just checking. It's like,
Yep.
like touching.
Yeah, because when you walk in, it's basically when you walk in, there's the showers ahead of you,
Mhm.
and then on the other side of the wall is the toilets and the sinks. So the sinks actually back up to and share a wall with the showers. So there's no way that there could be a two-way mirror.
The bathrooms, do they have doors?
Yes.
Uh,
And a quick
Sage,
kind of crouch and look. There's no feet. All the doors are open.
yeah. Sage is going to go into the furthest bathroom from the door.
Okay.
Close the bathroom. Do an inspection, looking for cameras of any sign of like what could be a camera.
No, you don't. You haven't seen anything like that here.
Uh,
Not even outside. Did you see any?
because Sage is like going to assume, like expect, always assume that there is a camera. And they are going to do what Kiva suggested. And they are going to try and summon a spirit of like the wind or a bird.
So Sage would know that there is a rite that allows you to do that while you're in the physical world, but she does not know it. So she would know, or they would know, that they need to be in the Umbra in order to find and speak with the spirit.
They are going to reach into their pocket, pull out their hand mirror.
Okay.
And they are going to stare into it. And they are going to go into the Umbra. They're going to attempt to go into the Umbra.
Yep. Roll your Gnosis at a 6. There's a lot of Weaver stuff around, but it's in the middle of the lake. There's nothing else for a mile around. So that kind of offsets it and puts it at about 6.
2 successes.
Okay. It takes you, a minute or so, but you do transition across the gauntlet, and you find yourself standing in almost a cage of spider webs. So the building itself, the outline of the building, basically, you see as spider webs, and you are inside of that. But not too far, because this kind of backs up to the edge of the island. You can hear the lapping of water. You can smell that water, that smell of the fish and all of that. And you see that there are these spirits that look like giant disembodied eyeballs moving in kind of a circle around you. You don't think that they see you inside the spider webs, but you're pretty sure that if you break through, they will spot you.
Do you have an idea what they might like? These are like Weaver spirits.
No. There's little spiders that are moving around on the web. Those are Weaver spirits. But these, they look like almost like a bloodshot eye. So you would guess that those are a bane of some sort. So those are going to be a worm spirit. Just from your knowledge as spirits, that's some kind of a it's some kind of a guardian spirit. So it's guarding this island against incursion from the Umbra. But they seem to be looking more out than in.
Sage is going to very quietly, because they are worried about that, especially being here alone. Wind?
Roll charisma and occult for me.
Finally get to use my charisma, y'all.
I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Cha-isma. Just saying.
What's your charisma?
Charisma.
My charisma is 4.
Mine too. And my occult.
Apparently,
If
we're all
Linda's
really good.
if Linda's is 4 too, then that's just a freak.
Yeah, you guys all made very charismatic Garu. I was.
We're just good people, okay? That's what it boils down to.
I'm playing a Galliard. If I wasn't charismatic, I would not be a good Galliard.
Yes.
It's like for the people at home, my social block is 4 charisma, 3 manipulation, 3 appearance. Okay, so
Linda is the least charismatic, and she's still above average.
I mean, I feel like if I couldn't talk and be charming, I'd be a really bad glass walker.
Or just a bad ragabash.
Pretty bad ragabash, too, yeah. They tend to be the most social.
Just bad all around.
5 successes.
5 successes, okay. The spider webs around you shift as if a breeze is blowing through. And you see a shimmer in front of you. Like a predator has just walked in front of you.
Ooh.
How can I help you?
It's hard, small words.
What do you want?
I think that's what I was worried. Like, sorry, small words. Make deal. Need scout. Find packmate and missing cub. Report back.
Find 2.
Find 2.
Find 2.
Find 2.
Make noise stop.
Make noise stop. What he said?
Mm-hmm.
Make noise stop? What noise?
And the air shimmers again, and you hear pained screaming and wailing. Make noise stop.
Make noise stop.
And you see that nothingness move to the north, and it parts the spider web that makes up the wall, and through that little gap that opens up, you can see a much more substantial spiderweb structure. Make noise stop.
Make noise stop. Sage will bow to the spirit. And will exit the Umbra.
Okay.
Flush the toilet. And then
Return out to
yeah.
Fraser.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. And Fraser, you were, while Sage was doing that, you were looking for information on who goes where and if specifically where the prisoners would be held.
Yes, he's looking for a reason to be in that room.
Okay. It seems like, just based upon the digging around, that there's a holding facility not too far from here, and that they feed them. And there's guards in there that also can't leave, so they bring food to them. So you think your best bet would be to get on that work duty? That's probably the best way to get in.
Oh, and when's the next feeding time?
Well, it's just after breakfast now, so around
Pretty close.
Around lunch.
Around lunch, so it gives us a couple hours.
They get 3 meals a day?
Well, the guards do.
Oh, I was gonna say. If they give the prisoners 3 meals a day, that's better than the fucking Maricopa County does.
I have I have just a meta question real quick. When we zoomed into the holding cell with the tortured Garu, was that fit? Yeah, where you're being held.
Yep.
Was that him? Was he being tortured physically?
You haven't seen him yet.
Yeah.
Sage hasn't told you about it.
Yeah, I think he's asking on a metal level. So on a metal level, no.
Okay. Oh. Oh shit. Okay. Anyway. So getting in on the next food break, we have a way out is a helicopter. We need to get in on that detail. I am going to reassign myself and Rye to that detail. With our whatever name is on our badges that we have, our identification.
I'm going to need an intelligence computers for that at a difficulty 7. Because now that you're here, tapping into their network is pretty easy and finding stuff, but changing it, that gets a little more tricky.
That's fair. I want to spend willpower on this, but I only got 2 willpower. Yeah, we'll just do it that way. If it doesn't work, we can always just hit it with a hammer, right? Oh, why am I rolling a D100, John? You're an idiot.
This isn't called Philo.
or Unknown Armies. 3.
Oh, Spanky McBetty. I'll give him a critical success.
Oh, sweet.
Thank you, Spanky.
What? That's amazing. Also terrifying. Thank you, Spank, my Betty.
I like how Spank My Betty
Spank
gave
My
me a
Betty.
critical failure on like a thing that Sage is actually really good at.
So this Spank My Betty is
Want to figure out how to get more crit
Let's say I
fails?
never have.
Keep talking about it.
Spank My Betty is a true master of chaos and equilibrium. So I'm waiting for the next hammer.
I was gonna say they did do a critical fail and then a critical success, like nearly back to back in that last session. So,
I
all right,
absolutely
so
love
you easily slot the two of you into that schedule.
All right, so I'm assuming Ray's back by now.
Oh yeah. Like yes, Sage was only going to take the amount of time it would actually take one to normally go to the bathroom. So
I'll confer with Ray, and then I'll tell them that I got us way in. We're on the food cart. We're gonna make it in there, but I'm not sure what we're gonna find once we're actually in there.
When Fraser explains where they're being held, that cues something in Sage, because that is the same building that the spirit just showed you.
like very like I'm going to talk normal, but Sage is like,
Yeah, I think we're all kind of being below board.
So I made a deal. I went to the other side, and
Right.
I made a deal.
As one does.
Their wind is going to scout, and what the wind wants is make the noises.
What the noise sound like?
Painful. It's something that's going on there.
And it's like it's screaming on the umbral side?
Massive. It is whoever this is happening to, they are in unfathomable pain. And the wind make noise stop.
Okay, so let me ask you just a real simple question. I know I fuck around a lot, but it was. I'm not completely an expert on the umbral, but from my understanding, a physical voice here, even emitted from a werewolf, doesn't necessarily penetrate to the umbra.
It was kind of like it was coming from that building.
So, what I'm saying is maybe they're somehow being tortured inside the umbra. Because if you heard the voice on that side, again, I'm not an expert. I don't know if it's possible, but that maybe,
but or if it is, they're in the umbra in that building. So.
And did the spirit already report back, or is reporting back?
Not yet.
Okay, so that's good. We have a way in from the outside, and hopefully we know what we're going to be doing when we get in the inside.
Massive web.
That's terrifying. Jesus Christ. Does it need coffee? No, that's stupid. That's stupid.
But you have earned yourself a coffee back.
Oh, how many am I up to now?
2 coffees.
2, I think.
All right, 2 cups. All right, excellent. I'll tell you what. I'll bet that I'll get back to. I bet I'll get my 3 back by the time this is done.
Sage isn't going to mention that they had 4 to begin with.
Yeah,
But
You have
like,
3. Yeah.
3, yeah.
All right. So the two of you kick back and take a chance to get some well-earned rest. And
yeah, like Sage isn't going to sleep, but Sage is going to relax
Mhm.
because they're not sleeping here.
Yep.
Um,
All right. Breaker.
oh, sorry. Is it possible to? It's trying to think. Like, is it possible to get a point of willpower back from this rest?
I will say that both Sage and Fraser have enough time to rest and get back a point of willpower
While we wait for the spirit.
while you wait. Yep. Breaker, what would you like to do?
Are there any guards in the room?
No. There were guards out in the initial area because you came through a set of doors that they opened for you, like almost like a blast door. And then inside there was a little area where there was a couple of guards. And then they unlocked a door that led back to these 2 cells. But as soon as they got you into this, those guys beat feet. They did not want to be back here with that noise.
All right, I'm gonna try to talk to him in the Garu tongue,
Yep.
and kind of give out a howl to calm him down. So, hey, you're the one that grandmother sent us looking for, right? That's you. That's you.
He doesn't seem to either hear or understand or what you're saying.
Doesn't seem to be.
He doesn't
I'm gonna
react.
let off a big ass howl to make sure that he hears me, to get his attention.
Oh, we got a major chaos. Oh, okay.
I'm gonna tell him to spank my buddy hard, and as part of this howl.
All right. Well, Zach, since you are in that scene, why don't you go ahead and roll for me? And I have, what do we got? We got 12 options on the major chaos. So do you have a D12 handy?
No. Is there such thing as a D12?
Yeah, I have one.
Do I have one of these in here?
In a D&D set, you got a 12 in there.
This is a Pugmire set, not a D&D set, first of all. Let's see. That came up as a 1.
1. Okay.
I don't know what that means. I'm sure we'll find out shortly.
Let me consult the random NPC related to current story enters scene, but comedic and brings random chaos. Okay, you let out that howl, and the doors swing open. And before you see or hear anything, you know who it is just based off the smell alone. And Stinky Pete is shoved forward by 2 guards into the corridor. And they push him, and fighting and kicking and screaming, they drag him along and behind them, open the cell, and shove him into the cell with you.
Into the cell with me.
Yep. So you're inside your cage, inside of a larger cell, and they're shoving Stinky Pete in with you.
So partial shifting is a thing, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
What's the roll for that?
That is a stamina and primal urge at, I believe it is an 8.
Okay. So I got 3 successes on that.
That's more than enough to do whatever you want to do.
I am going to shift my vocal cords.
Okay.
So that I can speak human.
Okay.
And I am going to shout at the guards, your mothers smell worse than this guy. You should introduce them. They would get along great. He can be your new stepdad. You would enjoy it. He'll give you great gifts. Fuck both of y'all. Rot in hell, you piece of shit, worthless, wannabe, not good, not smart enough to be cops, assholes.
Oh, just talk. Says
And I'm
the
gonna go right
younger
back to
one.
growling at. I'm gonna go right back to growling at him.
The younger one that asks that, the older one kind of cuffs him and he says, "Yeah, they're werewolves, you idiot. Did you not read the training manual?
Did you not pay attention to the video?
Did you not pay attention to the video?
Did you not pay attention to the entire orientation?
So they jam Stinky Pete into the cell with you, and then they turn and they scurry out. Both of them disgustingly kind of trying to get his smell off their hands.
You're gonna live with that for the rest of your lives.
I love the fact that this one the one guy, like, this is a werewolf. This is where we keep werewolves. We have the werewolves to guard the werewolves. And the entire thing is about werewolves, and he just blanks on all of it.
I've never seen a real werewolf before. I didn't know that was actually a thing.
He hasn't. He's new. He hasn't built up the delirium resistance that the other members of the Alpha team have.
Oh, so he just goes insane every 2 days?
Yeah, like,
nope, out again.
Fucking Jerry.
But between
Fucking
Stinky
Jerry.
Pete's smell and my yelling at the guards, have I gotten this guy's attention yet?
His head kind of lolls down, and he does, when the chaos of Stinky Pete, the smell of him assaults his olfactory senses. He kind of maybe a little bit, but before you get a chance to take advantage of that, Stinky Pete looks around. Who the fuck are you? Who the fuck is that? What the fuck is going on?
Do I still have the ability to
Yeah, until you will it
All right.
away. You got
All
it.
right.
Yeah.
Pete, this is what we're here for. I'm not sure what you did to fuck up to get you self caught here.
What? I didn't do shit. You motherfuckers tried to steal some goddamn poutine.
How does that land you on this island?
Because
Anyways, this is not.
was guilty by association or some shit. The next thing I know, I'm in goddamn jail, and then these black fucking bag bastards come and take me, and then I'm on a helicopter, and now I'm here.
You're a Convoke. This is what you're allotted in life.
I did not sign up for this shit.
I did not sign up to be a fucking Garu. Okay? I did not sign up to have my bones break and my body reform every time I shift. I did not sign up to be hunted by malicious evil spirits. I did not sign up to be born in a fucking cage. I did not sign up to be raised being moved around from cage to cage. But shit happens. We fucking deal with the hand that we've dealt.
All right.
I've
Who the
heard
hell is he?
that term. This, I actually haven't gotten his name yet.
Grandmother told you his name was Sawyer.
I've been told his name is Sawyer. It is Sawyer, and I kind of look up.
So,
Sawyer, is that you?
when you say his name, then his head comes up and you see clarity for a second as he locks eyes on you.
All right, Sawyer, we're here to get you out. We got other motherfuckers on the outside, setting shit up, setting shit in motion. Okay, you got me? You understand what I'm saying?
He nods, and you see him. And then
Yeah.
the screaming starts up again.
Okay, Sawyer, with me, off the screaming. I got sensitive ears like this.
He pulls.
So, Sawyer,
you can see that he is fighting with everything he has to keep the screaming
Sawyer,
to a minimum. Yes.
I am here to make sure you're not alone in this. That was the plan, is to get me in here so that you don't have to go through this shit alone. So, I'm trying to help you focus here. Eyes on me. This is when you are loud. That hurts my ears. Yeah. So let's see what we can do. What tribe are you? Do you know that?
He just shakes his head.
Okay. Are you your 2 legs or 4 legs?
He just shakes his head.
That was a either or, not a yes or a no. I'm gonna need a yes or a no.
He nods his head.
I do not understand. I'm a lupus. I do not understand nuances. I do not know what nuances means, but I don't understand them. So
he just nods his head.
2 legs.
Nods his head.
4 legs.
Shakes his head.
Okay. Full moon.
Shakes his head.
No moon.
Shakes his head.
Half moon.
Shakes his head.
In between moon.
Shakes his head.
Crescent. Yes.
I've run out for simplified ways of calling moons. Their things.
Little bit of moon.
So you're gonna have. We'll get back to that one later. You know grandmother.
And that again gets clarity in his eyes.
Grandmother sent us. We are getting you out of here. Okay? Grandmother is helping us. Caribou is helping us. Do you know spirits?
And you lose him again.
Other than his abnormally large shape, is there anything else about him that?
So you've had a chance to kind of interact with him a little bit more. You've seen him where he's not just screaming and bellowing in pain. You would put him at 19 or 20. So you're guessing that it's entirely possible, especially when you were asking the questions about like the auspices and he was just shaking his head, that maybe he doesn't necessarily know yet.
Yeah, he looks about.
He
He's the
seems
same
really
age as
young.
me.
Yeah,
Same
he
age
seems
as
really
Sage.
young, like he's maybe just undergone his first change not too long before this. Just tall guy, kind of blonde hair, blue eyes, big beard, heavily muscled. That's really about all you can get, just through the nods and the shaking of the head for the conversation. That's about the extent of what you got out of it. But let's switch back over to our homids. Somebody comes into the barracks. Hey, are you Smith and Jones? You guys got KP duty.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
And he leads you around to the back entrance to the mess hall. Did you guys eat yet?
No, not yet.
All right, well, grab a tray, scarf it down real quick. You got a couple minutes. And then he points to a cart that's plugged into the wall. And it's a stainless steel cart. Looks like it must have some kind of a heating element in it or something. So you guys scarf down your food real quick.
I get one pancake. And I'm eating it on the way out, and I just had the pancake just flopping right here.
Okay. So this is you can unplug it from the wall. There's a spot for the cord to wrap around. Some kind of a warmer. It's on wheels. Guys, roll it out the door, and as you roll it across the facility, nobody pays any attention whatsoever to you. You roll up to this, what looks like a bomb shelter, bunker of some sort. These heavy steel door, and there is an intercom. And here is where you do see a camera mounted above the door, pointed down. There's just a metal pole with a little box and a button on it. It's like a speaker with a call button.
I hit the call button. Hey, we got food.
All right, cool. You hear the clunk, clunk, clang, and heavy movements of metal as the door unlocks and swings open to reveal two guards.
Out of curiosity, the doors that open, is that just completely all manual?
Yeah. Yep, they are in there pulling that door open. And you roll the cart in, and they leave the door hanging open. All right, what do we got today? Salisbury steak? Tell me a Salisbury steak.
Sorry, buddy.
I mean,
it's spaghetti and meatballs.
Oh, they make those fuckers out of cardboard, I swear.
I know.
yeah, and it's got those little long pizzas on the side too, which are mostly bread with a little bit of cheese and like two
Mostly
pepperonis
grease.
on it.
Mostly grease.
It's
I brought extra napkins so you can just kind of pat some of that grease off.
God.
the
Tums tonight.
The one thing they do good, mashed potatoes. Got you some mashed potatoes. It may be instant, but it's still tasty. Here you go.
Fantastic.
I'm just gonna wheel this in there and start.
Oh yeah, you guys roll it on inside. They leave that door kind of wide open as you guys are moving around in there. I say, all right, just plug it in over there, and then we'll take the trays back to them. They gave you you heard we got a third, right? They gave you enough for 3 prisoner meals?
I just loaded whatever they gave me. If it's there, it's there.
God, all right, hold on. And one guy swings it open, and he's like, okay. Oh, yeah, all right. Yeah, there's plenty in there then. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Thanks for the delivery, guys.
You're welcome.
All right. So out of character.
And you guys can hear, as soon as the door opened, kind of similar to what Breaker had heard. Then that door opened up. You can hear the muffled cries of pain coming from behind another metal door that's on the other side of the room.
What's going
So
on
are they?
there?
Are they the only 2 people in here?
Yep.
And so we're in almost like an airlock right now.
Yeah,
right?
So there's like a heavy, like thick bomb door that cinches shut. Inside there's or on the other side of that is a small room with a desk with some computer equipment. You can see cameras, and you can see Breaker inside of his cage on wheels inside of a larger cell. And surprisingly, you see Stinky Pete sitting on the bed in there. And then you see this huge bearded guy chained up, and you can see on that his head's back. He's just screaming, and you can hear that. It's muffled, but you can still hear it. So when you ask about that, they go, "Oh, it's that kid that we snagged. Whatever they're doing to him is fucking him up bad, man."
All right. Is there? And I'll kind of like be like, hey, follow my lead a little bit. Is there anything reflective that I have on my person, like a person mirror or something?
No, but you can see a reflection in the computer monitors.
In the computer monitors. Okay.
Because these are like it's like the old school CRT, like
Okay.
this is like 1970s, 1980s tech in here. Black and white. The cameras are black and white, and they're just on the old CRT screens.
Is there? So we're the only two people. Are there cameras in this room specifically, or are they pointed at the guard?
No, there doesn't seem to be any cameras in this room. There's monitors. There's 3 monitors. One is the camera outside, and then there's one on each of the cells on the other side of the door.
Okay. I guess I just want to start things off. How far out can we see the door? Like, if you, God,
This building is kind of off on its own. So unless somebody's basically on the other side of that door on camera, they're not going to be able to see what's going on inside this room.
Okay. I'll just spend a rage point, and I'm gonna try and knock these guys out.
Okay.
I'm gonna transform.
So you're gonna shift into Krenos.
Yep.
And
when the big ass door opened to let them in, could we hear that from inside the cage?
Not over Sawyer crying, no.
So he's back to crying then.
Yeah, he's back to yelling and wailing.
When Fraser transforms into Krenos, what Sage is going to do in response is grab the food cart and like put it between them and Fraser to kind of like just like make it look like very instinctually like trying to protect myself from Fraser. Okay. So like, I want the guards to think I didn't know this motherfucker is a werewolf.
Okay. Fraser, are you wanting to split your attack into 2, hit one on each of them? Is that kind of what you're...
Yeah, I was hoping to get them both.
Easily done. So your pool is going to be dexterity with your Krenos bonus plus your brawl. And then you're just going to split that into 2.
All right, so dexterity, which is a total of 3, plus brawl, which is 2, difficulty 6.
Yep, difficulty 6. So you're going to lose 1 dice. So we roll 2 and 2.
Roll 2 and 2. All right.
And that's dexterity total of 3 with the being in Krenos form?
Yeah, the dexterity for
Okay.
Kronos is +1, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, so dex. 1. I don't know why my mind is blanking right now, I'm sorry. 2 successes on the first guy.
Okay.
As you said, 2 and 2, right?
Yep.
1 success on the second.
Okay. They were not expecting this to happen, so they are putting up no defense. So both of those hit. So go ahead and roll. Are you doing claws or a punch?
I would claw them.
Okay. So then strength +2 and strength +1.
Alright, so 7. Let's see. And still difficulty 6.
Yep.
Okay. And then 6. I'm gonna have to do 2, 2, and 2 on this one. 4 on the second one.
So 6 on the first and 4 on the second.
2 on the first, 4 on the
2
second.
on the first. Okay. So the first guy you catch, and he kind of spins around, and you took just a big chunk out of his left arm and across his chest. The other guy, that guy, you come straight down and just rake all the way down his chest, and he drops. The first guy is still going. He's in quite a bit of pain. You see him, Sage, going towards a big red button. You're muted.
Sage will tackle him.
Okay.
Roll. Because I'm behind him, like he's in front of me, so I'm like coming from behind.
Or you have that big cart in front of you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Like Sage will just throw that into him, and be
shove that into him.
Sorry.
Roll strength plus athletics.
I want to give this guy the impression that if it hit him, it was
accidental.
It was an accident. I am obviously panicked. It was strength plus athletics.
Yep.
I want him to think I'm an idiot. That's what I want him to think. You should have attacked the werewolf. Sorry. 2 successes.
Okay, that's enough to knock him off balance. John?
I would like to put my mouth over his head and squeeze.
All right. Let's say that Sage hitting him with that cart is enough to knock him to his kind of knock him to his knees, and you can just you don't even need to roll.
That excellent, yes.
So you two are now standing in here with one guy who is maimed and another guy who is headless or nearly headless anyway.
Nick?
And a metal door.
I want to lock the door.
Yes,
I'll transform back just in case anybody's
right
there.
Like in Krenos, you just, where it took 2 of them to swing this door open, you just kind of swing it shut.
Just, whoa, hold on, wait, don't slam it. Okay.
Yep.
Sage is going to. You said there was another door that somebody could be behind.
You hear the yelling coming from the other door.
No, not that door, but when we were talking about the cameras.
No, there's 3 cameras, one pointing to each cell in the cell block, which is where you can hear the yelling and shouting and screaming coming from, and then one was pointed out front That's the one where you guys buzzed in. They saw you had the cart and they let you in.
All right.
I'm pretty old school. Like, all this has, if it's old school, it all has to feed into a recording device, right?
Potentially.
And hopefully there's no one watching. Like, from what we can tell, this is closed circuit, right?
While Frazier is examining that, what does Sage want to do?
Sage is going to go to the big middle door.
Okay. So you swing that door open, and you see the 3 prisoners.
The moment that door swings open, Breaker's busting out of the cage.
Oh yeah. You pop that cage easily. And you see Sage coming through the door.
Hey, Breaker, just miss me? Miss me?
Did you get the fucking keys?
Did I get the keys?
Do you hear this motherfucker yelling? Do you have the keys?
But to the right on the wall are 2 boxes with a green and a red button. Currently, the green is lit up. Or the red is lit up, sorry, on both of them.
Common sense.
Common sense, there's a button. Next to it is a red light. There's a green button. Next to it is a green light. The red lights are lit. That means locked.
Okay, excellent. I'm gonna press the green buttons.
Okay, press the green buttons and you hear clicking. The lights turn green. And Breaker is able to shove his cell door open easily.
Is Sawyer's door open?
If you go over there and put a paw on it and give a tug, it swings
I'm shifting
open
into
as well.
Krynos. I'm shifting into Krynos.
Oh, just shifting into Krynos. Okay.
Tearing and just tearing shit up. So
okay, so you pull the door open.
I'm just going straight for his change and pulling them off.
Yeah, Sage is going straight to Sawyer as well.
Okay, so while you two are freeing Sawyer, we're going to jump back to Frazier. So Frazier, you kind of start looking and you're like, okay, so we've got a big red button here that's under a cover, so that's going to be the alarm. We've got the 3 cameras here. We've got the little microphone here, so this is how they talk to people outside. Okay, so there was going to be a recording device based upon this setup. It would probably be underneath, maybe. And so you kind of get down and you look, and there is a cabinet down there. Slide it open, and you don't see anything that is recording. You think that this is purely just closed circuit so that they can see what's going on.
So it's live. It's live. Okay.
Just the live video is all it does.
And Frazier would have been worried about lines going out, but if he can tell that it's just this is what it is, then that's fine. Nobody's going to come after.
Based on what you've seen of this facility, it seems like this was an old facility that has been recently spun back up, and this building hasn't been upgraded yet. Is kind of what it seems like.
Okay. Yeah. So we got we got Breaker. We got the big guy. Do we have any clothes for the big guy to wear?
You no longer have clothes for yourself to wear.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't have any clothes. Yeah, so that's fun.
Well, no, you're the clothes that were bound to you had on underneath the jumpsuit. So those you still have, but the jumpsuit
is gone.
That's gone. Oh yeah.
Okay. That's fine. While I was poking around in the database, I find out when the next shift change is going to be.
They work 12-hour shifts, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. So the next shift won't be for another 6 hours. These guys came on at breakfast,
All right. So, how far away are the helipad? Is the helipad from here?
On the other side of the island through the main base.
All right.
So, you guys came in here, destroyed any chance of us sneaking out. Is that what I'm getting at? Is that what I'm getting from this?
That's what he did.
Improvising.
you both destroyed your cover. The cover that you got in here without being here.
Ray's fine.
Oh no, I'm fine.
Then how did you open the door that took 2 people to open?
The guards. Guards let us in. Nobody actually knows outside of this building.
No, I'm saying
here.
The door to the cells was. Am I wrong? Was that described? I thought that was described as needed 2 people to open.
No, that one's not nearly as heavy.
One.
That's not a blast door. It's just a normal.
My cover's intact.
Yeah.
The only person who attacked anybody was Frazier, and I was scared and didn't know nothing.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, like.
And their clothes are destroyed, so we can't sneak out in them, so that's not going to work. Kevin, you know, or sorry, you know how to sidestep yet?
You know how to what?
You know how to sidestep yet?
Sage is going to be like swear.
He just, when you guys broke the chains, he just kind of fell, and he's just half balled up, every muscle tense. As when you guys say his name, he, with effort, pulls his head up to look up at you. So when you say his name, Sage, he looks up at you.
Sawyer.
I hope he didn't eat any of the shit they were feeding him.
No. What did they do to you?
He barely knows his name right now.
Okay.
We have to figure out how to get out of here, and when we get him back to grandmother, she'll be able to help us get things right.
Okay.
Focus.
So,
getting him out of here is the thing. Seems like the best way.
Right.
Well,
So,
tell you what. How about you guys ponder on that? Because I think that's enough for tonight. We thank you for daring to follow us into the wilds as we strove to delay the apocalypse, and hope that you will join us again next Saturday for the finale. If you'd be so kind as to click follow here on Twitch as well as subscribing on YouTube, we would greatly appreciate it. Special thanks tonight to our patrons and Twitch subscribers. Without your support, the battle to save Gaia would already be lost. If you would like to join this illustrious group, you can find the links on our website or contribute to the cause by purchasing some branded items in our new merch shop. In addition, we once again want to extend our thanks to Onyx Path Publishing, Astral Tabletop, at Nate Mid for our custom Astral Tabletop character sheets, and finally, White Pat Audio, Mayu Ghost Stories Incorporated, Dark Somnium, and Darren Curtis for some of the awesome music gracing our ears during this adventure. Finally, I wish to thank my wonderful players. Please tell the viewers who you are and where they can see you before next week.
I am Zachary Naldra, he, him. I can be found at Zach Rules on the Twitters. It should be below my face somewhere in this very vicinity. If you would like to hear me play a very different type of werewolf, still Werewolf the Apocalypse, you can check out Werewolf the Podcast. The first episode of World's Rage is out. Any of my community content stuff is going to be on my pin post on Twitter. And there's not going to be Pugmire or Squeaks of the Deep this week. I was wrong last week. It's this week that we're not having it. So you'll see me next year. Unless you're a stalker, which don't be a stalker. That's creepy.
the standards are so low. Just listen to that one. Hi, my name is Ray Alexa. I have been your child of Gaia, Hamid III, Sage Lavat. You can find me here next week on Saturday.
All right, that mute button was in reverse. Cool. My name is J3Billion and John, and I have been Fraser to Seth. And the next place you can see me is going to be tomorrow for that. Rolling some good old D100s for Unknown Armies. Real excited about that.
And now we kick it back to you, dear viewers. It's your time to vote for a player that you think stood out. You can do this once per session and give that player 1 point of rage, gnosis, or willpower, which they can use at any time in the future. So if you haven't already voted, please do so now. While they're doing that, I'll have the players do the same, but your votes will give 1 point of extra experience. So who do you think stood out tonight and why?
When Fraser actually puts his mind to it, he shows that he can be useful.
Fraser could do shit.
For Fraser finally stepping up and doing shit, I'm giving him my vote.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
My vote goes to Zach for his colorful language, talking to basically everyone in that camp.
Talking everyone.
And I love that it had that little underlying factor of like, it wasn't just shit talk, it was shit talk with a purpose. I'm gonna give mine to Ray for being my partner in crime this afternoon and for not transforming when I did. I thought that was a really ballsy move, so well done.
I was like, I'm gonna try and play this, like, just in case.
All right. Thank you, guys. And last but not least, I want to give a shout out to Tabletop Titties. They are a queer and feminist TTRPG podcast and streaming group run entirely by people of marginalized genders. The second season of their D&D show Into the Revelia follows our heroes from season 1 as they take on Hit Point Press's hilarious horror carnival module, Heckna. They can be seen every Tuesday live at twitch.tv/tabletoptitties, 7 p.m. Pacific time starting June 1st, and in edited podcast form every Friday. Their second show, Titties by Night, is a Vampire the Masquerade V5 show starring a coterie of supernatural investigators as they solve mysteries in Victorian London. Catch all the vampiric action Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m. on Twitch, Pacific time, on Twitch, and in podcast form on Saturdays. For more information, visit tabletoptitties.com. And remember, every time we say titties, it's with double D's. Now, our fire is burning low, so we will meet you back here next Saturday at 8 Eastern for the finale. Until then, tuck in. And remember, don't let the worm bite.